Here, everybody. This is what we can do with this word, nyan. Do you notice the way I designed this? This is what they call an area square. Do not forget, whatever I tell you is not real. It may only be realistic as I can tell you by what I do. Now, what I do with this is I find different angles to rotate within the same letter. This is the N letter. This, okay, is also the same letter. But if you notice the difference in size, because the difference between 1 square or 1 square or to square a square is to create a circle around the square. Now the 9 lives of the cat lives inside here. Although you see 4 boxes, there's also lives that live on the cross. So as you live the 9 lives on the cross, you cannot live all 9 lives. You live center here. That is your 1 life of 9. So right away, living 1 life of 9 says 8. 1 life equals the 7th gate, creates the 8. So you are only 7. Greek and French and Chaldean. In order to do Greek and Chaldean, we go around the cycle, and we're going this way as the arrow. But when the arrow comes into the point, okay, the point is going this way, this arrow will end up in the point. And then your point will look like this and become an army stripe. Okay, it'll be an army stripe. There's your army stripe. When the arrows come together, when you design a heart, okay, and you design the other side of the heart, we have the broken arrow out of the 2 sides because they're actually connected with inside the heart. They bring soul and spirit together. But isn't it funny, the word spirit equals to a total of 91, and when you add up 1 to 13, or magic square, 1 to 13 equals to 91, in which when you remove the 13, it becomes number 78. 78 is the representation of October, and the 7th gate to the 8th world, because it's all the same, 7 towards the 8 is the ring. 1 side of the mind, 2 sides of the mind, hooked to man. Heads and tails. Heads and tails, 2 and 8. Beta, heaven. Time, 47, heaven. You want to hear something funny? My parents' phone number is 7 times 7 times 7, right? 4794. That's their number. 7 times 7 times 7, 4794. And not only that, but in our area code here in Montreal, okay, it's 514. Here's the 4. Here's the 5. That's how your XO comes together and equals X and O. 15 plus 24 equals to 39. Which is C, I, and F, which is part of the 3 creation of I, 9, and 6 rotation because of the crown. We go over to 1 part of the brain, we go over to 2 parts of the brain, and we connect the 2 together. We got the crown connecting A, B, and C together. A, B, and C plays from the crown of your mind, the crown of your head. The 47 time multiplied by 47 is 2209, which is life. 22 V, 09 I, and R, third world life. Red. 22 and 9 is 31 AC power. How does the AC power connect? Does it connect inside the iron of the iron gates of the iron bar? Do we talk about the hammer and the sickle? The hammer and the sickle is more like, oh my God, I'm worried. I'm worried the ice is melting. And you get judgment on you. They take the hammer and they bang the table. They make judgments because one lawyer was better than the other liar. And then they get big money for these things to make judgment on our lives. Your life. They make judgment. You want people making judgment on your own life? The only time we need organizational judgment is when we're outside the house. We need a better understanding for the living and the understanding of where spirit and soul come together, knowing that soul equals 67, which is water. And one thing about water with 67, is Elmer Fudd with the rabbi. Because Elmer Fudd says, come back here, you silly wabbit. He never says the R. He says wabbit instead of rabbit. Water, W eats R. W is number 2 and 3, 23 equals 2, 5, and R is 9, 59. 5 and 9 equal to both the area count of 42. 542 is W. 942 is R, because the R letter is in the I family, in which the I, because it has the dot on top, and the 1 might be the flow of the blood, as God's blood runs through our body, as the air runs in the air and into our body. You can flex what you want. When it comes to water, you can do whatever you want unless you freeze it, tie it up, put it in cuffs, put it in a cell, lock it away. But the one thing with the spirit worlds, you can't lock down the mind. The only way to lock down the mind or to recreate the mind is to overstone the mind. Watch out. They were stones. Sticks and stones might break my bones. Oh, what are you talking about? I get stoned and it helps my bones. I feel so much better when sticks come to stones. I'm holding one ball and one stick. I got a bat and a stick. I can hit it out of the park. I can make a grand slam. And I'm thinking on all cylinders. First, second, third, and I'm home, my friends. I've made the complete choice of thought. Broken heart, get the arrow to connect it together. Beta heaven, 28. 2 beta heavens is 56. The wolf blows the fox over, and she communicates by coming back the backside. 4 and 5 come together is 9. The equality of this actual 4 and 5 is 9. 4 equals to 60. 60 gets a free 6. Why does it get a free 6? Because it makes it go all the way around. But if you take a look at this, and we look at it on this angle, the cards are going on angles like it rains. It rains on an angle because man stands like this, and spirit has to come inside of him and always cut to the side. So when man's lying down at night, it's really weird because it's harder for the spirit to get him. So night dreams are much different when you're lying down, and it's going this way. But guess what? It's also coming from the other angle, but not the same way. Did I explain that properly? How spirit comes to meet soul? W8R. So if 5 eats 9, it becomes 14. And 14 is what we need for the 2 moons in order to get 4 and 1 to come together, the number of the sun. 4 and 5 is 9, is 14. And in crafts, they pay you the odds of the 7th gate, of the 5 spirit of knowledge, the 5 galaxy, the pole, the dancer's pole. 17, 18, and 19, why was I talking about this? Is because 3, 2, and 1. The I becomes 1. The 18R becomes 2, and the S becomes 3. Why does the I become 1? Because this is the 7th gate. 1 light passes through 6, creating 7 I, which is the R letter. 8 and 1 is 9, only can rotate through the 7th gate, which is used by the Magen David only because the star can create the 7th gate. But not only that, when you take a stop sign, okay, and cut it in half, but when you cut it in half, you must cut it this way. You must remove the complete part of 11 and put this together. It becomes the hexagon. So when you remove this part from this part, you're now dicing apart your stop sign. You got 3 different parts. Now, if you eat it out, it turns into a C. If you leave it the way it is and outline it, it will become the D. What do we want to know? I don't know, you silly wabbit. Why they changed W for R? 2 times 3, 2 plus 3 equals 5 and 6, 11. This W now becomes 11. This R was 9, 9, 11, W8R. Now, is it reality? What am I saying? First of all, the only reality is that I'm talking about it. The second reality is you're listening to try and understand, does it make any sense at all? If it does make sense, will it help me in my life at this present moment? Well, the only way my information ever helps anybody is to understand there's more than what we see. So if there's more than what we see, there's a chance that there's more than what we see to what it means. So therefore, always leave the roads open and think. And the basic thing I want to tell you and I want to try by all these numbers, is that there's a world that was right before us. And they created all these numerological areas of Chaldean, Pythagorean numbers and Kabbalah. Been here for thousands, probably millions of years. It's not just us who created it. I don't believe there's a mean world. I believe there's a mean world in this world. But I believe there's a whole other world out there. I believe that after this life, there's another life, and we are spirits. We are in a matrix system, which is a vibrator of some sort, can distort anything within our minds that we are thinking, but can never distort the truth once we have it. Once you have the truth, we have the truth. But what they can do is bring in new laws and stipulations into this world, blocking us from having any further depth in any other world, because we're blocked by too much nonsensical information that we don't need to worry about, in which you can see in certain people that it comes out in the way they act. Again, this is a 9 world, but it's a 9 world because the one of this world, number 9, and the one of the other world, number 1, come together to become 10. They get the electric as 2 and 8 Neptune. They become 10 as 2 and 8 time, heaven, heads and tails, and man, spirit and soul as 1 and 9 coming into this world. They bring on the Red Bull spirit, number 3 creation, which is almost like this turned over and this key turned over to the other side. This flipped over to the other side. This is your 3. This is your line that goes around this way. It could be 1.5 when it gets to the center, but this is 3. The circle is what, 5 or 9? I don't remember exactly which ones they use. Another thing, the circle is 3.75 divided by 20, because the 2 centers, that's worth 50. It's worth 50, the center, to 20. 2.5 times 20 is 50. Why do I say that? Because the center of dots to 20 numbers around equals 50, which is 2.5, 2.5. Okay, number 52. 52 is number 6. 52 is for earth. 52 is for heart. 52 is for Jesus Christ. 52 is for both Jesus and Christ. The center of all numbers, number 74, the center of all numbers, 1 to 36 added equals 37 times 2 is 74. Half is 47 is time, which time goes around and around, and that makes Uranus, and it's the number for Uranus. Take 10 off, take man off, and that was the planet he was landed on, and that was Pluto. They flew these islands together, they tied them up, they cut the tops of the trees off, and we live on the vines of the bottoms of the grounds. Imagine a tree that was 30,000 miles long, a 30,000 mile tree. You don't want to believe that? Think of a tree that was 100 feet around and just chop the top off, fertilize it, and the flowers will keep up coming from the grounds, keeping this earth alive, alive from the inside out. Silly rabbit. Another thing with N and Z, it's New Zealand. This is one of my biggest reasons, me talking about the Baltic and New Zealand and the science labs being in New Zealand and underneath the ground out in this area, because of N and Z, because they duplicate. N and Z, okay, H and I. H and I are connecting islands, okay? It becomes heavens, islands. What does that mean? I have not detected or understood what it was. We were doing this, which is Greek, to come back the other way. This one to create 3 and 7 is 10. 2 and 18 is 20, and 3 and 1 and 9 and 1 is 10. 191, 182, 173. I'm not going to explain this right now. I don't remember where I was with this. The other thing I wanted to mention, okay, was no matter what you do, 123 times 47 will equal to 2021, which is 7 years from now. Man was created and God rested on the 7th day. Take those 7 years, put them in the bank, and let's go back to 2014. Another thing I wanted to mention, you are born. In order to bend the ruler all the way around, and in order to start back at number 3, number 1 must come all the way around to reconnect at the end. Do you remember the little hole they have in your ruler at the end? You pull it around, you stick a thing in here, automatically you lose the 1. Not only that, but when you have 1, how can I actually show you? When you have 1, right, and you want to bend something or start something off, you say 1. After, this is 0. This is home. 1 is 1. So when you start, I'm born in 1963, but nothing begins until 1964. Because that's when I'm 1 year old. I am 1. I am a number. I am not a baby. I'm not a child. I'm not growing up. Somehow, inside your brain, it's still constructing to porter the pound key, the dice cube, the area, so that man can have a red bull, so that woman can have a red period instead of having the black periods, where she gets brighter and she can see the sunlight, where she can feel her womb to know what the body is, to know how we are such great creators. We should take care of our bodies because that's all we have to support our own minds. No matter how great the mind, if you don't treat the body with good deeds, it will cease to exist. You will cease to exist. You will have no mind to order your body. Which other numbers and letters and rules should we have? 1557. We are in the year 2014. There is 1, there is a 2, there is no 3 in this year. Last year we had a 3. The year before we didn't have a 3. 2014 is also the year of 13. 5, 4, and 4. Why? 5 to the right, 4. 5 to the left, 4. 5, 4, 5, 13. 4, 4, and 4 is 12. And 1 is 13. That's when she gets her period, when it goes to the center of 444. In fact, I just got a new phone today. My phone number is 444592. All my numbers. Anyways, I probably didn't make sense 100% in there. There were other things to present within this, the I and R. Number 47, what creates 47? What's so fantastic about 47? It's created by the wolf and the flow of the wolf, which is the communication in the cranium. How the vibration of 2, 3, 4 actually work inside here. Why is there not 9 heads and tails? I got a head and a tail. I got 7 and 9. I got the 1 light. I got 6. I got 6 for 1. I got 6 for 1 head. I got 6 for 1 tail. 6 and 2 of the both of the 1 heart. I got 6, 1, and 2 because inside of me is my Venus head and tail. Inside is the heart. And then 3 for the left side and 3 for the right. But like I said, I'm not sure if we're sliced off at an angle how exactly that works. Okay, I have to learn a little bit more science. What I did want to say is there's a lot of things because the ace card is 1, 5, and 1. You like 1, 5, and 1. You like 1, 9, and 1. You like 3 and 4. Well, 3 and 4 will create 19. 1, 5, and 1. 1 times 5, 1 plus 5 will create the 56. 5 times 6, 5 plus 6 equals 30, and 11 is 41. 30 is a 0. The round circle with nothing in it is a 0. But every time you have the round circle of protein, you're going to have something in it. And that's going to give you area 5 with the 1 spirit connected out and in. Maybe it's into the pineal gland. And that circle always gets filled with 6. There is no 0. 0 is not 0. 0 is, oh, look, a child is going to be born. But he's not your son and he's not your daughter because he's not born. But when he is born, he now automatically gets a number. He's a 9 birth. My son was just born. It's today. He's a 9 birth on the first day. 9, 1, and 0, all at the same time. Wow. What does that mean? 2 parts of your brain connected in the center. Over here is the head. This part is the tail. Maybe because it runs down your backbone and down towards your totem pole. Your 2 nuts that twirl around. How are you? I don't know. Let's stop. I went far enough. The last thing I wanted to show is the key is in the eye. Part of the key is in the eye. And watch out for Kenyan. Why watch out for Kenyan? Because this word is N-E-Y-E-N. But when you reconstruct, okay, because of the E and the opening and the short arm of the E, and because of the Y and what you can do around and with the Y, okay, you see the way you see the box here? The cube here, the cube here, the cube here, and the cube here. I didn't do that purposely. That's because of the letter E that comes together with the letter Y and all the opening. I just keep creating diamonds. And every time I create a diamond, it creates a different shape. Okay, so at the same time, you can see it shows the chicken leg. The chicken leg shows you yellow and red, means it's here on the earth, the soul and spirit. This is also the sign for 1010 inside Tenet and wrote that Soro. There was something else in here if you take a look over here, okay, you see the way I designed the letter K? Let me turn this around and look at something. Wow, how come I don't see it? Oh yeah, here it is. Do you see it? You see Z and N, but it's the letter K. See the letter K? The letter K, and then this one, and this one would be K, and now what would I redesign this? But you see the arrow? The K creates an arrow over here, and it's an open arrow because of these boxes. You see this? It's almost like a cube. It almost looks like a cube. 1 cube, 2 cubes, 3 cubes, 4 cubes, 5 cubes, 6 cubes. So in between this word, we can create 6 cubes. Would you say that's 6 man? And don't forget the center that I showed you before. That's what I forgot to tell you. The center opens up. What is a line will now be its own item. You see, when you take a pipe, there's an inside to the pipe, right? Things take space. Now, can you put something inside the space to pass it as usage, as water for wiring or water? And water filters into all space. And sand, the sand of time, will filter into all space. Maybe that's why man has to die, because of the sands of time, because our bodies might be perfect, but it's filtrating all into one area continuously because we are sands. No matter how hard we work to fix that sand, we end up rusting out because certain parts that cannot be made better than they are will falter. And that's why we have to be robotic and come into life and leave life, because can we fix that? Unless we become more robotic, we cannot control the magnetism which keeps us together. And that's probably something to do with the gravity, in which that's one of the reasons when they went on that Mars or space mission up in space, why they lost so much bone marrow, is because of that. So they need more compression within their own body. The body works less hard. It gives up on itself because it only works for what it needs to work. Anyways, what do I know? Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. This is coming to you from my Logitech webcam software because just like that, I felt like doing a video here. Thank you.